Everybody get up and dance. It's over.
It's done. The economy's back, and just tell Romney to put it in a bag and mail it to some other country because it's over.
9:08, 8 past 9, the Bruce and Dan Show. John Cass, Jake Hartford in for Bruce and Dan. I wish they were here to share this happy moment.
You know, it's almost like we don't have to endure any more of this political problem, these, debates. It's just forget about it. Because we're happy.
The unemployment rate has dropped below 8%. It is at 7.8%. Last month, a staggering 113,000 jobs. That's right. You heard me right. A staggering 113,000 jobs were added to the economy, and happy days are here again.
And what, 98,000 were at like 7-Elevens, but
it doesn't matter. It's a staggering 113,000 jobs.
Right.
And the unemployment rate is now at 7.8%.
Hey, can I biggie size that?
We are back to normal.
Let's just, can I have the extra, like the double cheeseburger?
What's wrong with you today?
No, I'm just happy.
You don't sound happy.
Oh, no, I am. I'm ecstatic. This is the October surprise.
10:30. Not a surprise to those who have seen the economy inching upwards all these months. At 10:37, we're going to have Jim Pedagukis on to explain just what this means and how the job numbers are arrived. And I got to tell you, if I were looking to buy a house, I'd be out there today.
I feel like buying a boat and a house right now. I'm just going to just dump everything, any meager savings we have, and just buy stuff. Because the economy's back.
People have their jobs back. People are happy.
The Obama administration released numbers that make Obama look good. How could you be?
There you go again, putting a negative spin on it.
It's a positive spin. I'm just trying to relate the facts here.
You should be happy. We're at 7.8%.
Let's hear the music again. I want to dance with Jake in the studio.
You're never happy.
I am very happy here.
Yeah.
There you go. Come on, Jake.
Yeah,
let's do
you
a little
should be.
Happy Day polka.
See?
7.8%.
We're back to normal.
It's over. The campaign's done. What campaign? David, we were told that if it went under 8%, Obama would win. Correct? And even now, the stories are...
You can't dispute the numbers. You can't dispute the numbers, John. These are official United States Labor Department numbers.
Yeah, official Obama Department of Labor numbers. I think that's great.
113,000, a staggering total, was added last month.
Right. And that's a lot of jobs.
Let's go to the phones. Candace on the south side. Good morning, Candace.
Good morning, guys. These numbers are totally bogus. He has a huge flop in a debate that is a huge game changer, and then suddenly the unemployment numbers drop 3 points. Are you out of your mind?
No, not 3 points, 3/10 of a point.
Okay. And then what happens in 3 months that has been happening all during the Obama administration? They adjust the numbers. Oh, sorry, we made a mistake. And what that's going to happen after he gets elected? I mean, these people will stop at nothing.
Candace, can't you be happy for once? This is good news.
Yesterday, you were so wrong, and thank you, John Cass. You were so right. Obama was a total loser in the debate.
But Candace, can I have the Happy Meal? This is kind of like a Happy Meal for us, isn't it? I'd like to biggie size that Happy Meal because I'm so excited.
I know. I'm ready to go spend all my savings. No, I'm not spending anything if Obama gets elected again.
Thank you, Candace.
Thank you.
I can't believe the cynicism of these people.
I just can't believe you can't be happy for people who have jobs again.
I am happy for that.
Ron in Chicago. Hey, Ron, you're on 89 WLS.
I believe that number, 114,000. I see more people on corners with cups in their hand collecting change now than I ever did.
Well, you know what? When you pass those people by today, would you please tell them the unemployment's under 8%? They should go find a job?
No, they don't have to. That's their job. I mean, that's what Obama said, hope and change. Every guy that's standing out there with that cup in his hand is hoping that the next guy in line has change to give him. That's his hope and change.
Hey, Ron, do you remember only a few years ago when Bush was in office and there were 300,000 jobs added a month, and it was a terrible, terrible number, and it was enough to burn him in effigy, but...
Isn't that naive, though, that it automatically dropped below 8% and only a month from the election?
Hey, I got another prediction for you.
You're too cynical.
Osama bin Laden will be killed.
Yeah, I think so.
They'll get him.
He's going to get him. Obama's going to get him, but Hillary's going to do it because Obama ain't got time for that. He'd rather be on The View.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
I'm the eye candy in this studio.
913, Sam on the Northwest Side. Welcome to 89 WS, Sam.
How are you guys doing?
Hey,
I'm
Sammy.
happy. We're under 8%.
I want to ask you, John, did you do the same thing about the numbers when they were George Bush's numbers or...
I don't remember. I know you're a loyal reader. Did you find that column?
No, I didn't. And I want to ask you, John.
Yes, sir.
I would really... You made fun about... You said that the jobs are at McDonald's and 7-Eleven. I'm not for that type of a job either. But do you think that Mr. Romney, when he was at Bain, that his goal was to increase the wages of American workers?
No, I'll
or do you think...
Sam.
I haven't finished. Or do you think he was interested in increasing shareholder wealth, which is in direct conflict with increasing the wages of American workers?
Sam, instead of taking economics, I was watching, studying film, so I don't know about that. But I thought that his main focus, that Romney's main focus at Bain, was giving cancer to the unemployed steelworkers' wives.
Question here: Do you think that a person who's management level, he's a hedge fund guy? Do you think that his goal is to increase the wages of American workers, or do you think that he's for taking these great jobs that are protected by unions with great wages, shipping them to other countries to increase the
Hey,
value?
Sam, I hate to do this to you, Sam, but when you ask a question that goes over a minute and it's 9:15, I have to go to traffic. It's 89 WLS.
Sorry, Sam.
9:16, Jake and John here on 89 WLS until 11. And let the record reflect that Sam came on at 9:13:30 and went off at 9:15 even. And, we're talking about the jobless numbers today. We're not talking a big discussion about Bain Capital, this and that. But to the question, which was in there somewhere, about it's shareholder wealth versus people getting paid a lot of money. The workers, you can have both. You can have a successful company who makes profits for their shareholders, and in a lot of cases, the majority of the cases, the shareholders are individual people with pensions and retirement.
Investing
that's their shares. So the companies could make money, and the workers working at the companies could be making money.
Right, but is it the job of the President of the United States to lift your wages? That's your job. That's not the President's job.
Let's go to Mark in Algonquin. Good morning, Mark. You're on 89 WLS.
Hi, guys.
You happy, Mark?
Yeah, thrilled at the Obama spin.
Yeah, but Mark, it's better than if it stayed at 8.1%. It's better than that. It's it may not be a big move, but at least it's a positive move. You got to look at it that way.
There was also an increase of 888,000 people working part-time from last month that were done for economic reasons or slack work or business conditions.
Mark, you bring up the point that I was making with Jake earlier before we came on, which is, to me, the real number is not this unemployment number, but the one I've been writing about, which measures unemployment plus underemployment. So if you got fired or laid off, and then you get a job for a couple of weeks on a loading dock or at a McDonald's or something, you're considered employed. And I think that's not what people, where people would put themselves. And Jake says that it doesn't matter.
If you look at the 114,000, it went up, and the fact that it went up 888,000 in part-time workers, the reality is it went down for full-time workers.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Sure.
And just so you understand my point, you can't argue, 8.1, 8.2, what it's been is bad, and then as soon as it goes to a number that people think is good, we'll say, well, we're not going to look at that number anymore. We're looking at this other number of total unemployment.
Who set the 8.2 was the important number?
That is always,
David Axelrod?
But it's always been. The unemployment number, that's the number. When Bush was president, that's what it's always been.
Yeah, but it was worse because if you lose your job, I know what you're saying, but I'm just trying to say that I've been advocating in my column that the other number, the true unemployment number is the one that measures the pain of the American people. But now I can see David Axelrod leading me. You know, I should put a bell around my neck like a little sheep and go up the pasture wherever David wants me to go, and I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, but I understand.
Although I am happy.
I understand that, but when George Bush was president, at one point, unemployment was under 5%, and then after 9/11, it went up again with the recession. No one ever talked about the real unemployment number. That was always the number.
Well,
that was always the number. I mean, to be fair, that was always the number.
I want to be fair, but I also want to be accurate.
Patty and Mike in her car. I'm looking.
We're ready to fight here,
It says
Patty.
in my car, and I'm wondering what the heck are you doing in my car?
No, I'm in my car.
What are you doing math in your car for, Patty?
Well, because
You're scaring me.
it's driven me crazy for so many months. So here's the question that I've had. How come first-time jobless claims continue to go up week after week to a rate of about 325,000 every week consistently for 2 years now? But yet when we add 114,000 jobs, the unemployment rate goes down. I mean, just this week, 325,000 more people filed for unemployment for the very first time. I just don't understand the math. So something is screwy here. And, John, I think you're absolutely right in your columns that it is the underemployed. And I also have an answer for Sam, by the way. I've worked for a company that's been bought and flipped 3 times by private equity companies. And 2 of the companies that bought us and flipped us were interested in growing our company. And both of those times that we were bought and flipped by those companies that wanted to grow us, my salary went up because they wanted to attract better employees. They wanted to keep those of us that were doing a great job. So they incented people with better wages to come work for us, better salaries, better commission plans. And that's why if you're interested in growing a company, everybody will benefit from that, including those that work through higher wages.
Thank you, Patty. 9:21, back after this on 89 WLS.
89 WLS.
When the candidates want to reach you, they come here. Your Common Sense Election Headquarters, 89 WLS.
9:28.
Happy days are here again, Jake. This is Jake Hartford and John Casson for Bruce and Dan on WLS 89.
Putting politics aside, it's a movement towards the positive for the economy.
Yes, I feel like, again, I'm going to buy a yacht. I'm going to go look online and buy a 64-footer.
At 10:37, we're going to have Jim Pedagukis on to explain some of the numbers, how they're arrived at, and
the real number, the real unemployment, underemployment number. Jake's shaking his head.
No, well, you have to be consistent, John.
I am consistent
because when you argue like that, it's kind of like, well, 8.2 it was important until it's no longer 8.2. Then it's some other.
No. I don't know what other people have done. As far as I'm concerned, I've been reporting and talking about the underemployment number as a measurement of people's pain. Okay, and if others want to set, if David Axelrod wanted to set that 8.0 number, which he did months ago, and other people want to go and get herded into the into the pasture by
Mike, are you being herded into the pasture?
Mike,
a lot of people are being herded to the pasture. I'm kind of the
Mike.
black sheep.
Let me hear the sheep sound. Come on. There you go.
That never happened for me. I heard Obama's really happy about these numbers because he loves poor people, so that's why he made more of them.
There's more people working, Mike.
Mike, isn't that a good thing, really?
You guys touched on a few things. We're coming up to the holiday season, and being in the transportation business, things are a little bit busy. Or picking up, I should say. So, and I know that Kmart, Toys R Us, I think Target mentioned that they're going to hire a little more seasonal help this year. So, are these numbers still going to be around 3 months from now? Are these just temporary part-time jobs?
It doesn't matter. These are the numbers. These are the numbers that are there today, and the people that are getting those jobs at Toys R Us, Kmart, whatever, they've got jobs.
If I'm working for 3 months, I'm still not going to be qualified to buy a house or a brand new car.
But
it's only a temporary fill.
But if you got a
It's just gonna
job,
get me by. Yeah, I have a job.
no, what I mean
I have
is,
enough-
if you
but
have
even
a
that
job,
I have barely enough money with the gas prices so high to get to my job, to afford to eat, something to eat, and get back to my home, to turn around and go back to my job because it's a low-paying job. Are these careers, or are these just filling jobs?
They're filling jobs, but they're jobs.
and the question is, will people give Obama credit for it and vote for him because of this?
9:30, time for news, weather, traffic with Dave Stewart right here on 89 WLS.
Notre Dame, Miami. How you doing, everybody? I'm Chet Kopic. Fighting Irish coverage begins with my pregame at 4:30 this Saturday right here on 89 WLS.
9:37. Want to remind you to join 89 WLS and AARP on October 16th at the Union League Club of Chicago for an 11th Congressional District candidate debate between Judy Biggert and Bill Foster. It's moderated by our own Bruce Wolf. Go to WLSAM.com to reserve your seat. We were talking about the unemployment rate has dropped to 7.8%.
Although I would give you another number. Reading this from one of the stories in the AP, still many of the jobs the economy added last month were part-time. The number of people with part-time jobs who wanted full-time work rose 7.5% to 8.6 million Americans, the most since February 2009.
And the unemployment rate number is 7.8%.
Yeah, you heard what I said. So whatever's easiest to understand, let's do it. And you know what? Let's end the campaign right now.
But
It's
that's
over.
Well, see,
I'm just going to go on vacation.
You're looking at politics. I'm looking at people with jobs, and there's more people with jobs.
Did you hear what I just said?
I know what you just said.
I said the number of people with part-time jobs who wanted full-time work rose 7.5% to 8.6 million, the most since February 2009.
And I said the benchmark has been the unemployment rate, and that is down to 7.8%.
Right. Okay, put the goat bell on me. Take me to the pasture.
Mary and Joe, good morning, Mary. You're on 89 WLS.
Hello, how are you guys today?
Hey, Mary.
Hey, I just have a question. I would like to know, as an American citizen, and speaking for the country, are we supposed to be satisfied with the 7.8%?
You can be satisfied with whatever number you want to be satisfied with.
Because I think it's still awful. My son went to apply for a job in law enforcement in Chicago. Over 4,000 applicants. 80% black, 10% Hispanic, and 10% white. He found that out because that's what the gentleman stated before they had their conference. So this is unacceptable to me, this 7.8%.
Mary, you know how to get a job in Chicago? You got to call the guy. Call your committeeman.
No, my son graduated now in May. He has a 3.6 GPA and a double major and is having a hell of a time trying to find a job. With over 4,000 people applying for a job, there's no way. Is he supposed to be satisfied with a part-time job? I hope he finds one.
If he gets the part-time job, then he'll be part of that little number that we're happy about because we're happy.
And like you said before, it's going to be seasonal help. And I just hope everyone is supposed to be happy with this because I'm sure not, and so are these 7.8% people that are still looking for work.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Now, when George Bush was president and the unemployment rate was under 5%, there were people unhappy with that number, too.
And when there were 300,000 jobs added, people were screaming bloody murder. But
Kurt on the Edens. Good morning, Kurt. You're on 89 WLS.
Oh, Jake, I know you hate it when you're wrong, but there's actually not more people working. There's just more people that left the workforce. When Barack Obama took office, there was 113 million people in the workforce. Today, there's 111.5. Just people giving up. So the actual unemployment rate is down because people just gave up. They didn't find jobs.
Wait, but then how come during the summer when the unemployment rate went up, that was because more people had quit leaving the workforce looking for jobs? You can't have it both ways.
Because they were looking for jobs.
It's simple math. There's
no such thing as simple math.
There's 1.5 million people less working now than there was when Barack Obama took office. Yet unemployment is lower than when he took office. How could that be? Just magic?
Well,
not to mention the reason it went down this time is because they found 800,000 more people on surveys when they call people's home. They just magically found 800,000. Why do you think Jack Walsh tweeted that these Chicagoland politicians, they can't win debates, so they change their numbers? Now, here's the guy that knows what he's talking about, but I guess he's a moron too, right?
Who?
Jack Welch, former CEO of GE.
You know, I have a lot of respect for him, but I don't know what he knows about Chicago politics.
He knows numbers, though, and he knows the numbers are wrong. I mean, you believe whatever you want. I mean, fairy dust and things, but
I love fairy dust.
Are the numbers.
All I'm asking is Chumbalo Nation. We love Jake, but on this Chumbalo Nation, we have to disagree with him.
Well, in Kurt's position, though, because the number went down, it's because people left the workforce. Well, when the number went up, they said people left the workforce. You can't have it both ways. It's one or the other.
That's why
we're going to have Jim Pettigrew on at 10:37.
Yeah, he'll explain it all.
Explain some of this stuff. Dan in Bourbonnais. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning. How are you? It's harvest time. Good crops, drought, bad crops. They've been harvesting in Illinois since August. And good crops or bad crops, you still need the help. And there's truck drivers, grain elevators, you have fertilizer services. I mean, all these businesses, corporate farmers, you have all these people. If they got to hire people to pay the taxes, they're writing a check, and that check goes on somebody's Social Security or whatever. So, hey, that affects the number. And there's farm reports that come out on this. There's a farm report that comes out and says, oh, help went up on farm industry by X amount. Well, is that factored in here?
Well, was it factored in a year ago?
Yes, it's always factored in. It's got to be factored in. But I mean, it's now because we're coming to an election in 30 days. Oh, well, this is now Wisconsin. All I'm just saying is this is a season like other people. It's a seasonal thing. And I'll tell you what, after the election, when the plowing's done, the grain's all hauled to the elevators and sent to the mills or wherever, the numbers are going to go down, and you're going to see the other things shaking. Now what is it?
All right. Thank you, Dan. There's another story out today that $4 a gallon gas may be permanent. And for those people who are complaining about that, remember what Bill Clinton said. And I know people have short memories here. That the president mandated that the miles per gallon go up on cars from 20 to 40. Right. There's a lot of cars out there now getting 40 miles per gallon. So if you traded in your car that gets 20 for one that gets 40, even though the gas price per gallon has gone up from $1.80 when Obama took office to $4 now, a little over more than half. If you got that new car, you're still paying the same amount for your 20 miles of driving. So people shouldn't complain about that either. They should just go out and buy the new car that gets 40 miles per gallon.
Or a horse.
9:44, back after this on 89 WLS.
Breaking news. Around the clock. One station making history every day. Chicago's talk leader. 89 WLS.
9:50. John Cash, Jake Hartford in for Bruce and Dan.
Yes, Jake. You have something to say to me, my friend?
No, now people can go out and buy that car that gets the 40 miles per gallon. So it's not like they're paying $4 a gallon for gas. It's like paying $2.
You know, the best stuff on radio happens in the break, and that's where I'm asking the producers to bring me the David Axelrod tinfoil hat to protect me from Jake, because I don't know, Jake. I don't know. Are you going dark side on us or what?
No, I'm just,
It's kind of dark sidey.
No, we're just talking about the numbers, and I'm has been written in one of the columns here in Chicago a few years ago. I'm just a prominent journalist.
Okay, he's referring to the Cellini trial yesterday, where the boss of the Combine finally went to prison for a year. It was a year and a day, which meant that it's really only a few months. And Judge Zagel said that he got many letters of support for Cellini, including from 3 prominent journalists. And I want to be on record, all my readers know, loyal readers, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday in the Chicago Tribune, that I would never write a letter on Cellini's behalf. But 3 did.
But you are a prominent journalist, too.
I'll leave that to you, to my broadcast partner, Jake Hartford, John Cass, in for Bruce and Dan.
Darryl in St. John, good morning, sir.
Hi, how are you?
What's on your mind?
I had a question here in regards to that unemployment rate. I don't know if anybody's brought this up or if you knew about it, but as of September 2nd, the amount of benefits that somebody, at least in the state of Indiana and many other states, has dropped down to 63 weeks. It originally was at 99 weeks. Then they dropped it down to, I believe it was 77 weeks. And then as of September, it dropped down to 63 weeks. So now anybody who is beyond that 63rd week is no longer counted in the unemployment rate or in the unemployment percentage. I don't know how many people that would be or how it would affect it in a way, but I'm sure that has something to do with it dropping.
You mean that knowing that you're not going to get the government check forces people to get that part-time job?
Oh, absolutely it would. Oh, absolutely.
Well, if that's the case, then we should cut unemployment benefits to 26 weeks.
Absolutely. I mean, well, yeah, I totally agree. But the amount, if you do that, then, unemployment would be back down to 5%.
Thank you,
Darryl. Those people would no longer be accounted for.
Thank you.
Yeah, but we'd all, under this administration, we'd all be pushing rickshaws. It would be like those rickshaws downtown.
Which are unlicensed in Chicago.
Yeah, we heard about that this week. That was weird. Huh?
We're going to have Jim Pethokoukis on at 10:37. We'll ask him some of these questions about how, when people go off unemployment, how that factors into it.
And the real unemployment number.
But we're also how, if people are not looking for work, does it make it go up, go down, and all that other good stuff.
He'll explain it.
Yeah. And we also want to remind people, we're in for Bruce and Dan, and they continue to be in for Don and Roma. Don is still recovering. If you wish to send him a Get Well card, you can. It's getwelldon@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, WLSAM.com, and you can get information there, keep up to date on what's going on with Don, or send him a message through the website. And we all wish him well.
We all wish him well, and we miss you, Don, because especially today,
he'd be happy.
The unemployment number's down. I could just imagine the smoke rising, coming out of your ears to hear this in the place where you stand. To hear this like pro 7.8 number stuff.
9:54 back after this.
89 WLS.
The latest news from the nation and across the globe is just minutes away with ABC News, 89 WLS and WLSAM.com.
Jake and John. Jake and John. That's right. That's all I need to know.
Everybody knows who we are.
That's right.
By now. I'm the one with the tinfoil hat, and Jake is happy with the day.
I've been looking into the reports of these numbers, and there's more numbers that I know are just going to distress you, John. We'll talk about that later when we have Jim Pethokoukis on at 10:37. More to come right here. John and Jake in for Bruce and Dan on 89 WLS.